The air in the kitchen felt heavier than usual, thick with an unspoken tension that clung to the walls like damp fog. I stood at the counter, slicing tomatoes for dinner, the knife's rhythm a steady pulse against the cutting board. My wife Elise sat at the table, her phone glowing in her hands, her thumb scrolling with a restless energy. When she spoke, her voice was casual, almost too light, like a melody played slightly off-key. "I was thinking," she said, not looking up, "maybe we could invite Ryan over tonight. To join us." My hand froze mid-slice. Ryan. The name landed like a stone in my chest, stirring a ripple of unease I couldn't name. I forced a smile, turning to face her. "Ryan, huh? From work?" My voice sounded steady, but my heart was already racing, sensing something beneath her words. Elise nodded, her eyes still on her phone. "Yeah, he's been stressed lately. Thought it'd be nice to have him over. Shake things up." Her tone was breezy, but there was a flicker in her expression. Something guarded, like a secret she wasn't ready to share. I'd always trusted Elise. 12 years of marriage, countless late-night talks, shared dreams of a quiet life by the coast. She was my anchor, my safe harbor. But lately there'd been cracks. Her late nights at the office, her phone always buzzing, her laughter sharper, less warm. I'd brushed it off as stress, as her climbing the corporate ladder. But Ryan's name, spoken so casually, felt like a match struck in the dark. "Sounds good," I said, my voice tighter than I meant. "I'll set an extra plate." I turned back to the tomatoes, but my hands trembled, the knife slipping slightly. Why Ryan? Why now? Dinner was a performance. Ryan arrived, all easy smiles and charm, his presence filling the room like he belonged there. Elise laughed too loudly at his jokes, her hand brushing his arm once, twice, each touch a needle in my skin. I watched them, my fork hovering over my plate, my stomach twisting. The way she leaned toward him, the way her eyes lingered. It wasn't just friendliness. It was something more, something intimate. "Great food, Matt," Ryan said, grinning at me across the table. "You're a lucky guy, Elise." His words were polite, but they felt like a taunt, a challenge I couldn't answer. "Thanks," I muttered, my eyes flicking to Elise. She was watching Ryan, her lips curved in a smile I hadn't seen in months. My chest tightened, a slow burn of doubt spreading through me. Was I imagining it? Or was the truth staring me in the face? Dressed up in casual conversation? After dinner, Ryan left, and Elise started clearing the plates, humming softly. I stood in the doorway watching her, the weight of my suspicion pressing down. "So," I said, my voice low, "what's with you and Ryan?" She froze, her hands gripping a plate. "What do you mean?" Her tone was sharp, defensive, like I'd caught her off guard. "You know what I mean." My voice trembled now, the words spilling out before I could stop them. "The way you look at him, Elise. The way you laugh. It's different." She set the plate down hard, the clink echoing in the quiet kitchen. "You're being ridiculous," she said, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. "He's a friend, Matt. That's all." "Then why does it feel like I'm losing you?" The question hung between us, raw and exposed. I wanted her to laugh, to pull me into her arms, to tell me I was wrong. But she didn't. She just stood there, her silence louder than any confession. The next few days were a blur of doubt and dread. I couldn't shake the image of her smile, the one she gave Ryan, the one that used to be mine. Late at night, when she thought I was asleep, I saw her phone light up, her fingers typing furiously. I didn't want to be that guy, the one who snoops, who doubts, but the ache in my chest wouldn't let me rest. So I checked her phone. The messages were a knife to the heart. "Miss you already," Ryan had written. "Can't wait to see you again." Her replies were coy, flirtatious, laced with a warmth she hadn't shown me in months. There were plans, dinners, late-night drinks, moments stolen behind my back. Each word was a betrayal, a piece of our life unraveled. When I confronted her, the kitchen became a battlefield. "How long, Elise?" I demanded, my voice breaking. "How long have you been lying to me?" She cried then, her face crumpling, but her tears felt hollow. "It's not what you think," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. "It just happened. I didn't mean to hurt you." "Didn't mean to?" I laughed, a bitter sound that echoed in my ears. "You invited him into our home, Elise. Into our life. And I was too blind to see it." The truth spilled out in fragments. Months of closeness, of crossing lines she swore she'd never cross. She begged for forgiveness, but the words felt like ash. Trust once shattered doesn't piece back together so easily. I moved out the next week, the weight of her betrayal a constant ache. The house we'd built together, the dreams we'd shared. They were ghosts now, haunting every step I took. But in the quiet of my new apartment, I found something else. A spark of resilience, a determination to rebuild. Elise's betrayal had broken me, but it wouldn't define me. As I sat alone staring at the empty walls, I realized the hardest truth of all. Love can blind you, but it can also teach you to see. And I was ready to see clearly again.